Hello everyone, this is Sanjeev Tayal from Tayal English Academy. And in this video, we are going to talk about another important topic as far as literary criticism is concerned. And the name of that topic, that concept is touchstone method. My dear students, this video is helpful not only for the students of UGC NET English, but this video is also important for those students who are preparing for DSSB or PGT English. So please listen to me attentively. So the name of the topic, the name of the concept that we are discussing here, the name of that concept is touchstone method. You know, what do we mean by touchstone? Touchstone means standard or criteria. Touchstone means standard or criteria. What is that standard? What is that criteria with the help of which we can judge whether any work of literature is of high quality, is of high excellence or not? So to judge that, Matthew Arnold has given this concept, and the name of that concept is touchstone method. My dear students, before discussing this concept, touchstone method, I would like to tell you one important thing, that this concept, touchstone method, was discussed by Matthew Arnold in his essay, and the name of that essay is The Study of Poetry. And that essay, The Study of Poetry, has been taken from a work by Matthew Arnold, and the name of that work is Essays in Criticism. The name of that work is Essays in Criticism. And this work, Essays in Criticism, was published in two series. The first series that came in 1865 and the second series that came in 1888. So this was very important. Now, proceeding further, now in this essay, The Study of Poetry, Matthew Arnold says that religion and philosophy are losing their appeal. With the time, religion and philosophy are losing their appeal. Till now, what used to happen, whenever people used to suffer, whenever the people were in sufferings, then just for relax, just for salvation, just for relief, either they used to go towards religion or they used to go towards philosophy. But now, they no longer have any faith in religion. Now they no longer have any faith in Christianity. And when they are having no faith in religion or Christianity, how that religion, how that Christianity, how that philosophy can give them the required relief, the required salvation? So religion and philosophy, they are losing their appeal. And with the passage of time, these religion and philosophy are replaced by poetry, are replaced by poetry, are replaced by literature. That relief and that salvation, which people used to search in religion and philosophy for that relief, for that relaxation, for that salvation, now the people turn towards poetry. They turn towards literature. Okay? So it means the poetry is going to perform a great function. Poetry is going to perform a great function of sustaining, maintaining, and delighting mankind. So if poetry is going to perform a great function, if poetry is going to perform such a great function of sustaining, delighting, and maintaining mankind, then that poetry, if poetry is going to perform such a great function, then the poetry should be of high excellence. That such poetry should be of high quality. Now, how can we judge? How can we select that poetry which is of high excellence, which is of high quality? But natural, for judging the poetry of high excellence and high quality, our standard, our criteria should be equally great. So for judging that poetry of high excellence, for judging that poetry of high quality, Matthew Arnold has given us this method which is known as touchstone method. Which is known as touchstone method. Okay, before discussing that touchstone method, I would like to tell you one very important thing. And you know, what is that important thing? You know, Matthew Arnold, in this essay, The Study of Poetry, says, that when we judge the quality of poetry, when we judge the poetry which is of high class, which is of high excellence, while doing that, we should avoid personal estimation and we should avoid historical estimation. We should avoid, if we want to judge the poetry of high excellence, if we want to judge the poetry of high quality, then we should avoid personal estimation and we should avoid historical estimation. Personal estimation means value judgment. Estimation से हमारा मतलब क्या है? Value judgment. कि personal estimation means to view the poetry, to judge the poetry, to analyze the poetry as per your personal likes and dislikes. To view the poetry, to judge the poetry, to analyze the poetry as per your personal likes and dislikes. Okay? That is the personal estimation. This should be avoided. And historical estimation means to judge a poet or an author or his work or his poetry from this point of view. How far that poet has contributed in the English literature, in the growth of English literature, or in the growth of English language. By historical estimation, Matthew Arnold means what is the contribution, what is the extent of the contribution of that poet and his poetry in the development of English language or in the development of English literature. As to call Geoffrey Chaucer as a poet of high excellence only on the base of this concept that the dialect which Geoffrey Chaucer used, that is East Midland dialect, and that became the standard dialect in the coming time. कि Geoffrey Chaucer ने जो इंग्लिश का ईस्ट मिडलैंड डायलेक्ट इंट्रोड्यूस किया, वही आगे जाकर इंग्लिश का स्टैंडर्ड डायलेक्ट बन गया. ये जोफ्री चौसर का इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में एक कंट्रीब्यूशन है. केवल इस बेस पर जोफ्री चौसर को हाई क्लासिक या हाई क्वालिटी का पोइट कहना, ये हमारा हिस्टोरिकल एस्टिमेशन है. दैट इज नॉट द रियल एस्टिमेशन. Okay, so Matthew Arnold in this essay says that we should avoid personal estimation, we should avoid historical estimation, और इन दोनों एस्टिमेशन को हमें अवॉइड करना चाहिए और उसकी बजाय हमारा जो एस्टिमेशन है वो क्या होना चाहिए? रियल एस्टिमेशन. रियल एस्टिमेशन का मतलब क्या है कि while judging a poetry, while analyzing a poetry, we should be objective, we should be depersonalized. We should be objective, we should be depersonalized. We should try to see in reality what are the merits and demerits of that poet or that poetry. That is the real estimation. We should avoid personal estimation, we should avoid historical estimation, we should apply, we should adopt the real estimation. And then one very important word which Matthew Arnold has used in this essay, that is charlatanism. Charlatanism means false show of knowledge. Matthew Arnold says, if we want to judge, if we want to select the poetry of high excellence, the poetry of high quality, then we should avoid charlatanism. Charlatanism means the false show of knowledge. Charlatanism means the inability to discriminate between good and bad, inability to discriminate between real and false, inability to discriminate between superior and inferior. अगर charlatanism है तो हम हाई क्वालिटी की पोइट्री को जज नहीं कर सकते हैं. तो charlatanism should not be there. ये मैथ्यू आर्नल्ड ने अपने इस ऐसे द स्टडी ऑफ पोइट्री में कहा है और ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ये टर्म charlatanism कई एग्जाम में इसके बारे में पूछा जाता है. तो वी शुड अवॉइड charlatanism. And then we come to touchstone method. You know what is touchstone method? Touchstone means standard or criteria. You know, Matthew Arnold says that Homer, Dante, Milton, and Shakespeare. They are accepted classics. Homer, Dante, Milton, and Shakespeare. They are accepted classics. They are poets of high seriousness. These authors, these poets have poetic truth and poetic beauty in their work. So, if you want to judge any poetry, which I will call other poetry here, if you want to judge other poetry, and if you want to judge whether that other poetry is of high quality, high excellence or not, then according to Matthew Arnold, what should we do? We should take some lines and passages. We should take some lines and passages from the works of accepted classics like Homer, Milton, Dante, and Shakespeare. And we should compare these lines and these passages with the lines and passages from the other poetry. And we should try to see whether the poetic truth, whether the poetic beauty, whether the high seriousness, which is in the lines and passages of these accepted classics, whether that poetic truth, whether that poetic beauty, whether that high seriousness is in the poetry of high poets or not. वो poetic truth और वो poetic beauty इन other poetry की lines और passages में है या नहीं है, ये हम जज करने की कोशिश करें. तो इन एक्सेप्टेड क्लासिक्स की पोइट्री की कुछ लाइंस और पैसेजेस को इस अदर पोइट्री की कुछ लाइंस और पैसेजेस से आपस में हम क्या करें, कंपेयर करें और ये एनालाइज करने की कोशिश करें कि एक्सेप्टेड क्लासिक्स की पोइट्री की कुछ लाइन और पैसेजेस में जो हाई एक्सीलेंस है, जो हाई सीरियसनेस है, जो पोइटिक ट्रुथ है, जो पोइटिक ब्यूटी है, वो अदर पोइट्स की पोइट्री में है या नहीं है. अगर है तो वो पोइट्री हाई क्वालिटी की है और नहीं है तो वो पोइट्री हाई क्वालिटी की नहीं है, वो इंफीरियर है. दिस इज द टचस्टोन मेथड which Matthew Arnold has given us. So this touchstone method is the method of comparison. Okay? Now some critics have analyzed this touchstone method and they have just found two limitations as far as this touchstone method is concerned. The first limitation, the critics say, when we are just taking some lines, some passages of accepted classics, and we are comparing these lines and passages with some lines and passages of other poetry, then while choosing some lines and some passages of accepted classics, and while choosing some lines and passages of other poetry, while choosing that, we are just doing the personal estimation. We are doing the personal estimation because we are choosing those lines and passages as per our own likes and dislikes. So we are just involving the personal estimation while doing that. The personal estimation which Matthew Arnold rejected. But now in his touchstone method, that personal estimation seems to be involved. You got my point? This was the first limitation. The second limitation is when we just choose some lines and passages and of the accepted classics, and again we choose some lines and passages of the other poetry, then we are comparing the part with the part. We are comparing the part with the parts. And the critics say that the real worth of a work of art cannot be analyzed when we compare the part with the part. Rather, the real worth of a work of art can only be analyzed, can only be judged when we compare the whole with the whole. When we compare the whole with the whole. We should compare the complete impression left on our mind by reading the complete work of the accepted classics with the complete impression left on our mind by reading the complete work of the other poets. Only then we can judge the real worth of this other poetry. Okay? So the critics say that instead of comparing the part with the part, we should compare the whole with the whole. W-H-O-L-E. So this was the touchstone method and the limitations of touchstone method. My dear students, I have tried my level best just to explain this concept, touchstone method, So we discussed here touchstone method, we discussed Charlatanism, we discussed personal estimation, historical estimation, and real estimation. I hope you like this video, and if you like this video, then please like it, share it, and subscribe my channel. And please keep learning, keep yourself motivated so that you may get success. Thank you. Thanks a lot.